Hi everyone. Today I want to look at a sentence many of us heard growing up. You'll only get dessert if you finish all the food on your plate. It sounds harmless and it sounds pretty normal, and it even sounds like good parenting. But there are a few things in that sentence that are worth looking at more closely, because this is where our patterns begin. Let's look at it. The first thing is, why teach children to finish food if they don't like it or they don't feel like it? What that teaches you is to override your own signals, your sense of hunger, your sense of fullness, and your sense of preference. You learn to eat because you're told to eat, not because your body is asking for food. And over time, that creates a disconnect. Instead of asking, am I hungry? Do I want this? Have I had enough? You learn to follow something external. The second thing is, who said dessert is necessary? It's presented as something expected, something that comes at the end of the meal, something you should be working towards. But dessert is not a requirement. And it's not something your body actually needs. And yet it becomes built into the structure of eating. You're not just eating a meal, you're moving towards something else. Which brings us to the third thing. Why is dessert the reward and the rest of the food something to get through? The message underneath is very clear. This is the good part. This is what you really want. And this is what you're waiting for. And everything else becomes something to finish, something to tolerate, something to get out of the way. Food is no longer neutral. Some food becomes the reward, whilst other food becomes the obstacle. And that changes the relationship completely. Instead of eating because you're hungry and stopping when you are satisfied, you begin to eat in a structured way that has nothing to do with the needs of your body. And these patterns stick. And they show up later as eating when you're not hungry, wanting something after, and feeling like a meal is not complete if it doesn't end with something sweet. Not because something's wrong with you, but because this is what you learned. The question of why do I do this becomes a lot clearer. You do it because you've learnt a pattern. You're not dealing with something random. You're looking at something that was learnt. And anything that is learned can be seen. And then slowly it can be changed. This week, just notice, do you ever feel like you need something after your meal, even if you're not hungry? Do you ever feel like one type of food is a reward and another is just something to get through? That awareness matters, because awareness comes before freedom. These patterns are not random. They follow a structure. And when you begin to see that structure, you begin to work with it. If this resonated with you, stay close. Next time, we'll come back to the moment itself and what you can begin to do there. You're not broken. You're human. Awareness comes before freedom.